Good evening and welcome to today's episode of NWCR's Removing a Liberal Blindfold for this, the 20th day of November in the year of our Lord 2024. People, like here in New Mexico, keep expecting a different outcome by voting in the same damn people. Well, some of the new ones who were voted in do have a lot to say. This article from the Pinion Post News has the headline, "Why New Mexico's Crime Crisis Won't End Under Progressive Rule." With the recent election, even states like New Mexico, who seem to want to hold on to their progressive liberal ways, slide right. And this article, written by one of the conservative Republicans who actually won here, tells what is really going on. Her name is Representative-elect Nicole Toyasin, and she is now the only Republican in Albuquerque, though not letting that stop her in the fight for America. Elections have consequences. Unfortunately, so-called progressive Democrats continue to hold a commanding majority in our state's House of Representatives and Senate representation from both sides of the aisle, and diversity of thought are pillars of a functioning and balanced government. But our reality in New Mexico is of one-party rule. This stranglehold on our institutions continues to halt progress and miss the mark when it comes to truly addressing our state's out-of-control crime rate. Earlier this year, my fellow Senate Republicans collaborated across the aisle with Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham during her special legislative session to make strides in addressing public safety. Included were measures to expand criminal competency protocols and increase penalties for felons in possession of firearms, distributing fentanyl, and murdering law enforcement officers. We also introduced proposals to secure our open southern border and issue New Mexicans and Americans at large support in order to combat the cartel's trafficking of drugs, humans, and contraband. An additional measure we introduced would have strengthened our state's lackluster Racketeer-Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, or RICO, statute in order to pursue organized criminal activity more effectively and expand the capabilities of prosecutors, specifically expanding human trafficking sentencing. This measure, along with several of the aforementioned proposals, were created with and supported by district attorneys and law enforcement leaders from around the state and from both sides of the aisle. Unfortunately, as we all know, each and every one of these measures never saw the light of day. Progressive Democrat lawmakers killed the governor's special session focused on public safety, ending the session almost immediately and refusing to hear any legislation addressing crime and safety. I attended this summer's special legislative session to witness firsthand how our elected officials would address the crime epidemic my family experiences in Albuquerque each and every day. I was disappointed, to say the least. Make no mistake, as the only Republican senator from Albuquerque, I will uphold my responsibility to work toward making our community a safer place for families to live and thrive. These proposed measures are common sense and practical. They hold criminals accountable, deter criminal activity, and strengthen our law enforcement. The progressive wing of the Democrat Party, which has immense influence and power in our state's legislature, disagrees. They would rather stall these proposals and instead push an entirely different ideological agenda. It was recently announced that the Senate Democrats plan to introduce a crime package that narrowly focuses on expanding behavioral health programs. This somehow will reduce the level of violence we see every day from juveniles, repeat offenders, and gangs in our state. While we as Republicans remain optimistic and plan to reintroduce several of these comprehensive solutions, progressive Democrat lawmakers will most likely reject each of these proposals and further miss the mark on addressing our crime crisis. As a result, New Mexico families would continue to suffer from our crime crisis in communities throughout our state. Elections have consequences. Our communities will not become safer under the continued leadership of radical progressives. We will fight in Santa Fe, but the real fight is on the ground with grassroots organizing in key communities to continue to expand the realignment of the Republican Party in New Mexico. And now we'll remove the liberal blindfold. And I keep saying it. The Democrat Party should be ashamed of itself. They keep saying they are for protecting the people and run on that. But when the truth comes out, after the elections, they care nothing for anything but their own agenda of boys in girls sports, criminals running free, and open borders to bring in more criminals. That makes them happy. Doesn't make any sense, but that makes them happy, not pleasing the people who elected them. They are only in it to push socialist communist ideas. From the Bible it says from Ecclesiastes 5 verse 8, "If you see the poor oppressed in a district and justice and rights denied, do not be surprised at such things, for one official is eyed by a higher one, and over them both are others higher still." Here in New Mexico, the evil of our government goes all the way up to the governor, who doesn't care for anything that would help our state. No, in fact, she makes sure that anything that would help the people to get rid of crime and make the people safer are thrown by the wayside for things that never work, like taking our guns away and leaving us at the mercy of the criminals, who will always have guns because they won't follow her laws. Edward Abbey once said, "A patriot must always be ready to defend his country against his government." Here in New Mexico, the evil of our government goes all the way to the governor, who doesn't care for anything that would help our state. And because of that, all I can say is thank God she can't run again. Term limits in New Mexico won't allow that. Thank you for watching, and as I will always say, we shall not be ruled. NWCR is heard through Conservative Nation Media, or CNM, from behind the silver microphone of freedom, with the voice of reason in this increasingly unreasonable world where America always wins. Please subscribe to my video accounts on Rumble and BitChute if you want to know what is really going on here in America and here in New Mexico. ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, MSNBC, and others will not tell you the truth. Only the liberal talking points of doom and gloom will come from them. This is something that must be gotten rid of if we are to save this great nation from this destruction that the left has it on. Have a good day, and God bless you all.